Breaking, Choke No Joke goes off on other celebrities not supporting Diddy's kids. And TariqNasheed questions the S Act prosecution. Now let's get to it.
These was y'all nephews, and y'all ain't got no moral support for these kids. And I know they grown men, don't call them kids. Pac and Big, 24, 25. They was kids to us now, right? Ain't none of y'all, Buster, Jay-Z, LL, none of y'all niggas got no moral support. Ray J, all y'all punk. Y'all ain't got no moral support for Puff kids to walk with them in that courtroom. MARYJ, Naomi Campbell, none of y'all. All y'all was running, all y'all was at his parties. Jermaine Dupri, Usher, all y'all party with the Terrence J, all party with Puff. And none of y'all sat there and went, all y'all DJs that got a check, Ciroc Boy, Kenny Burns, all y'all. Ain't none of y'all gonna go to court for this. Y'all know what it mean to go to court and support people.
Hey everyone, welcome to the mix. Like this video, share this video. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. Today is Legal Tuesday, you guys. My apologies for getting this video out to you late. For those who are new to my channel, I typically go live on the weekends, maybe twice out the month, on Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I conduct Legal Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of the month and the last Tuesday of the month. Also, I conduct Sunday Inspiration or Inspirational Sundays, first Sunday of the month and last Sunday of the month. So thank you guys for your continued support, those domestically and internationally. Drop some comments in the chat, but keep it respectful and peaceful. If you're interested in donating, hit that Cash App. Zelle is in the description section of this post. Really quickly, before I dive right into the topic, I want to say thank you again for those who hopped on the live, who called in on Sunday for the call-in show and the cash prize giveaway via comment picker. Congrats again to the winners. As my channel continues to grow and evolve, I will be able to increase the amounts. I'm hoping one day to at least get to $500, maybe $1,000 to raffle off. Of course, I'm working on other ways to conduct my giveaways, hopefully in the future. So, but just shout out to everyone who participated in the comment section on the live. Terry, thank you from Nevada for calling in. Thank you for the donation, the Cash App donation. Yes. More of those, you guys. More donations to the mix helps increase the cash giveaways and just helps my overall channel. It takes resources to run this channel, you guys. It really do. But thank you guys for your continued support. Even if you like this video, share this video, but most importantly, listen to it from beginning to end. That helps the mix grow. Yeah, it pushes your girl through the algorithm. Now, as you can see what this video is going to be about, yes, are quite a few people, just Choke No Joke and then TariqNasheed. They are questioning motive of this traffic act in terms of prosecution, RICO act in terms of prosecution. They're tying it to the RICO. They're tying it to I gotta be careful here. So Choke No Joke, as you can see, pause it right here just to give you guys a little summary of who he is and why I'm focusing on him. And you heard the clip of Choke No Joke in the beginning. So Choke No Joke to the left, rapper Boosie, of course everyone's probably know he's to the right. Boosie always questions a lot of things, but Choke No Joke used to work for Rockefeller Records back in the day during the Dame Dash and Jay-Z era. So just Google him. He was like the camera guy, a lot of behind the scenes videos, from the concerts to the parties to the rap battles, etc. So he has his own YouTube channel. Shout out to him. Shout out and credited to the 3 Million Productions, their channel, the clip that I used from them. And then shout out to TariqNasheed. I'm going to go ahead and share that clip, his take on it too, as well, in terms of being careful by people celebrating this, which I'm not celebrating. And I always say that here and on my channel. It's just no one wins when the family feuds. And this is not something to be taking delight in, and not saying that these people are guilty or innocent or I'm capping for them, but the law is the law. The law is the law. We all have constitutional rights. And we do know in this country, when it comes to black people, black and brown people, the law could kind of be swayed a bit or unfavorable or hypocritical, or they cherry pick. And it's probably 2 tiers of justice. It's criminal justice system. And even in a civil, that would be for a subject for another day. So basically what I'm saying to you guys is that TariqNasheed and these fellas is questioning like, hey, don't, this, because this can be applied to regular people. Don't just think this is celebrity wise. RICO charges, you guys, made for, to my understanding, a mob. You can do this, and there's not a lot of people who've been charged with RICO. Probably a handful. I mean, R. Kelly now. I have him go across the screen because he is a product, unfortunately, of the RICO Act. And I read his indictment. I followed his cases, and in terms of legal wise, even before I started creating content, and just, I mean, and then I follow his attorney, and I get all my updates from her X account. Because in my opinion, it is definitely a miscarriage of justice with how the government charged him. It's not right, it's not fair, and it is a miscarriage of justice, and his constitutional rights were violated. Even if a person is guilty as day and their hand caught in a cookie jar, a person still has, rights. Everyone has a right to a fair trial. The Constitution still applies to those right, wrong, or indifferent, or those who are as guilty as they. Don't argue with me. Argue with the founding fathers. Don't argue with me. Argue with the people who made the Constitution. So, subject for another day. So, but let me go ahead and share with you what TariqNasheed had to say. Spark your thoughts, maybe a different perspective, and maybe something to make you go, I never thought about it that way. Regardless of how you feel about these people. Yeah, we've heard Diddy was a complete a-hole. I've heard that all my adult life. I'm from that era, before social media existed, when there was the Vibe magazine in print, Source magazine in print, all these fashion magazines I used to subscribe to and have the magazine, because I used to read all these different hip-hop magazines and hair magazines when I was in my prime before social media. So I would be up to date on whatever articles coming out and fashion and all of that in those print magazines. So, and yeah, it's always been chatter behind the scenes. We've heard just regular folks in the industry surrounding Diddy and Pac era, the Biggie era, and all of that, and et cetera, et cetera. It's just always been out there. So, I mean, yeah, we've always heard about him just being unfair contractual wise, contracts and stuff. So, and people still was signed to Bad Boy. So, but hey, he could have been guilty of all of that, you guys. But just because he was a-hole as a record label owner and all of that, and A&R, whatever he was, Bad Boy, it doesn't mean that somebody should trump up charges for him. And I'm not capping for him, and I'm not saying these charges are trumped up, but let me go ahead and share with you what TariqNasheed spoke about, a clip, and then I'll come back with more. I hope you're seeing my point. And again, like I said, R. Kelly, I don't believe the charges that he was convicted of, levied against him. I no. You have to read, you guys. Read, and piece things together. Check out some of my videos in the description section on R. Kelly and my legal related playlists I have. So let me share this clip, and then I'll come back with more.
With Puffy, again, with the media, the way the media is portraying everything, with Puffy talking about his case, they're just being very vague about everything. Everything is just so vague with the Diddy case. It's extremely vague. That's very problematic. That's extremely problematic. And the reason why it's problematic is because the vagaries can be misinterpreted so many ways. That's the problem. All of the vagaries that they're engaging in, that stuff can be misinterpreted or reinterpreted different ways. And we got to understand with the Puffy situation, man, that's a very bad precedent. I saw a story now where some stripper from back in the early 2000s, she was at a party talking about, well, damn it, yeah, I was at a party and yeah, I was made to have a body. So I'm trying to get a bag. So some stripper is trying to get a bag now, because again, they didn't set a precedent, that whole coercion thing. You see, they were very vague. Coercion, that's a very vague term. How do you coerce an adult? You understand what I'm saying? You coerce children. But these vague terms that they're using, that's not even supposed to be on cases like this. This is basically, I'm white and I say so. That's why I can't really co-sign none of the stuff that's going on with this Diddy case. I'm not co-signing that. And black folks shouldn't co-sign this. This is some racial, I'm white and I say so. Some people are going to have to put their puppy hate to the side. Your Diddy hate is going to have to be put to the side, and you're just going to have to start looking at the big picture and looking at this thing from a common sense perspective. I'm not co-signing them using racialized laws and enforcing laws based on race. They're using a racist law to go after Puffy, the same racist law they went after R. Kelly with, the same racist law they created for Jack Johnson. The Mann Act, they don't go after white men with these Mann Act laws. They don't do that. They never went after Larry Flint with that. They never went after Hugh Hefner with that. Y'all remember that white boy out there in, was it North Carolina? What was that white boy's name? DJ something. It was a white DJ who was out there sleeping with a bunch of underage black girls. This dude slept with like 20% of the damn women in the whole city, and he allegedly had HIV. You dig? For years. They don't put these man acts on these white boys.
Okay, everyone. So what are your thoughts? Drop some comments in the chat. Again, keep it respectful and peaceful. Like this video, share this video. What are your thoughts about what TARIQ was saying regarding the Mann Act? Let me show you really quickly what that is. And it's a simple Google search, the Mann Act and a RICO Act. So here you go. The Mann Act, it was, if you do a simple Google search, and I'm paraphrasing, it was created, it was like I think a slave law. But again, do a simple Google search. That's where it originated from. But what Puffy, Diddy, aka Diddy, has been charged with is the RICO. Same with R. Kelly. And again, the RICO, it is to my understanding, was created for mobsters. And there's not a lot of people who have indicted on RICO. Probably a handful. And I think someone's conviction was overturned. Someone case was dismissed, and maybe there was 3 or 4 that was convicted. R. Kelly's, as you all are, for those who do not know or who are not aware, his Chicago case was rejected by the Illinois Supreme Court. So his is pushed up to the United States Supreme Court. I think it hasn't been accepted just yet, but I think it's looking good. And then you have the New York, R. Kelly's New York case is on appeal, and it's before the justices in New York. Harvey Weinstein, you guys, his was not a RICO. Harvey Weinstein's, to my understanding, was something else, but it was similar, but he wasn't hit with a RICO. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. R. Kelly was hit with a RICO. As you can see, Diddy was hit with a RICO. And Diddy's charges, basically, there's 3 counts on the indictment, and I have it here, so I'm just going to read it to you guys. I was going to go over the indictment in full, but I'm not. So yeah, this is your notice. I'm not going over the full indictment, but I do have the 14-page indictment, and it's only 3 counts. The first count is racketeering conspiracy. So that's how they got the RICO, and what that consists of is that 1 count. And then you have count number 2, the S trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion for victim 1, and there's only 1 victim, and it's presumed that 1 victim is possibly Cassie. I don't know that to be true or fact, but it's being alleged that 1 victim is possibly Cassie. We all know her story. And the count 3 is transportation to engage in prostitution, you know. So that's 3 counts. But keep in mind, you guys, they can add more charges to this, more counts. So that means they can go back in and amend this criminal indictment to add more. So yeah, and lastly, they're asking for forfeiture, meaning, whoo, they trying to bankrupt Diddy. They trying to seize everything that they feel that based on their facts and evidence that was a part of this whole RICO conspiracy under Diddy's enterprise. So they're basically saying it's being alleged that Diddy used his businesses, and they named all his businesses in the indictment as well. Wow. And they named all his AKAs, compass the S trafficking. So back to what tariqnasheed was saying, you guys, about the Mann Act. The Mann Act is basically, it's a product of the S trafficking. So in my opinion, seems like in order for the government, the federal government, to have this type of I guess ability or quote unquote strong case or strong indictment, they have to put it as in my opinion as a RICO, and then add on the charges that it encompasses as trafficking, blah blah blah, etc., in order to kind of get certain people, I guess, if that makes sense. So but again, let me know your thoughts, you guys, down in the chat. So, but what do you all think? Do you think this law is being abused or weaponized against Black entertainers? I mean, let's just keep it real and have that conversation. Do you believe so? Chokenojoke, rapper Boosie, and TARIQ, you know, they feel that the federal government, I'm just paraphrasing, based off of their comments on social media and in interviews, but they seem to think that the government is weaponizing this and going after only Black entertainers. Like I said before, there's not a lot of people who are prosecuted under this RICO Act law. Probably about 5 or 6, quote unquote. I mean, you can Google it to see. So the RICO hasn't been used in I don't know how long either. A couple decades, I think. And R. Kelly seems like his case was the one that it kind of rebirthed it, you know, if that makes sense. So, but yeah. So do you all believe that this RICO/S trafficking lines are being blurred? Because based off of what these fellas are saying too, based off of their interviews and their posts and all of that on social media, they feel that if someone is being flued out and that person is, hey, feeling each other, you might have a cocktail or 2, and then 2 days later they go back home, you don't pay for everything, and then hey, voila, the person could say, hey, a month later, 2 months later, maybe a year, I felt that I was pressured, or I felt that blah, blah, and I wasn't in my full capacity because I was tipsy or intoxicated. And that could possibly happen, you guys. So that's why, again, these fellows are saying or speaking up, saying, wait a minute now, let's not celebrate this. Let's look at how it's being used, or quote unquote possibly weaponized. I mean, that is something to think about, because it can happen to anyone on a lower level, not just celebrity wise, you guys. So you have to really think about that. It could be your homegirl next door, homeboy next door. It could be somebody in a corporate office. You need party or a Christmas party, and then they go to a room, possibly, these are just hypotheticals, and then everybody refreshed, awake, and then a month later, hey, this happened, I didn't consent, or because I was, whether it be a man or female, I didn't consent because inebriated, or I was high, or DRUGS, or was highly intoxicated. So I mean, the fellas, they do have a point, but in this instance, when it comes to Diddy, it just seems like victim one, off of victim one's civil suit, that victim one wasn't with the ish. Like, she was basically powerless. And let me just speak to powerless too when it comes to Cassie, because I think that victim one is Cassie. I used to always see her in pictures, and I'm like, why this girl don't talk? She just seemed like she's just following, like he controlled her. He controlled her thoughts. He controlled everything. This is just my opinion based off of that. Yeah, both can be true. He exposed her to the best of life, but at the expense of being quote unquote abused. No, I'm not rocking with that. Abused in whatever shape or form. No. So, and who knows what was being done or said actually behind the scene. Yes, she's told her story, but we wasn't there. So she could have been very much fear for her life, or fear for her family life, things of that nature. Because when you're at a certain status in your life, you guys, when it comes to the powers that be, someone like a Diddy, someone like maybe a Sean Carter, Jay-Z, they can control some things, allegedly, if you get my point, far as with their money and their power and their influence. You guys just don't know the strings that these fellas can pull behind the scenes, allegedly. So, yeah. But let me know your thoughts, you guys, down in the chat. Do you think the lines are being blurred when it comes to these type of charges, RICO/S African, do you think the lines are being blurred for specifically being weaponized and to apply to black entertainers or black people? Let me know your thoughts down in the chat, you guys. Let's get the discussion going. Again, credited to Tariq Nasheed, credited to 3 Million Productions. Like this video, share this video, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.